Hi, I'm Skip Johnson, Associate Pastor at Cannon United Methodist Church. I wanted to read a Bible story that we've all heard before from John in chapter 6. When he looked up and saw a large crowd coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread for these people to eat?" He said this to test him, for he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 6 months' wages would not buy enough bread for each of them to get a little bit. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a boy who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they among so many people?" Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." Now there was a great deal of grass in the place, so they sat down, about 5,000 in all. Then Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated, so also the fish, as much as they wanted. When they were satisfied, he told his disciples, "Gather up the fragments left over, so that nothing may be lost." So they gathered them up, and from the fragments of the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten, they filled 12 baskets. This is a story you probably know well. You've heard it many times. The feeding of the 5,000 through the little boy. And I want to talk just for a moment about how we read the Bible, how we approach it. The Bible we see as a book for kind of spiritual growth, to help us, a handbook to teach us who to become, how to become those people with God's help. But there's several ways that we can read it. When we first read the story, well, we can kind of remain outside and read it as a story. You know, it's kind of like, oh, isn't that nice? Jesus had all these people there, and there's a little boy, and then he fed the 5,000 from the little boy what he had. Oh, that's terrific. But that remains the story out here while we remain over here. We read it with a separation. Interesting story. Oh, that's lovely what happened. I want to suggest another way to also move into the story is to become part of the story. To read it in a way that you are all the characters, that you're in the crowd, that you maybe feel the heat of the day, that maybe you feel the rumbles in your stomach, and you wonder, how are we going to get fed? Maybe you're one of the disciples thinking, there's no way this can go about. I have really doubt Jesus can pull this off. And look at the story as a character that you become in the story. But there's even a third way to approach the story that I would invite you to as well. To use your kind of active imagination and to imagine the entire story is about you and all of you. You are the crowd, you are the disciples, and there's hunger. There's hunger for something that you need. You need to be fed. Spiritual food, ways that you can grow to be the person that God wants you to be, and how is that going to happen? And it is from the most overlooked part of you, the small, the child off by themselves, isolated, just happens to be part of the group. That small child part, that overlooked part of yourself, that is the part that knows wonder, the part that can connect to God, the part that is willing by faith to give what they have. That is the part that ends up feeding all of the rest. Perhaps that is a part of you right now. Maybe there is a hunger, and maybe there is a child inside of you that has the fish, that has the bread, that can feed the entire body and move you to becoming the person that God calls you to be. Thank you. I hope it's a blessed day. And I want to read one of the blessings I've been reading from Jen Richardson. This one from a blessing called The Map You Make Yourself. You have looked at so many doors with longing, wondering if your life lay on the other side. For today, choose the door that opens to the inside. Travel the most ancient way of all, the path that leads you to the center of your life. No map but the one that you make yourself. No provision but what you already carry, and the grace that comes to all of those who walk the pilgrim's way. On your pilgrim way this week, may the small child within you give you what you need to live and to see God. Thanks.
I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven come to fight for me. And I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. I raise a hallelujah with everything inside of me. I raise a hallelujah. I will watch the darkness flee. I raise a hallelujah in the middle of the mystery. I raise a hallelujah. Fear, you lost your hold on me. And I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated, the King is alive. Sing a little louder. Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Sing a little louder.
Presence of my enemy.
Sing a little louder.
Louder than the unbelief.
Sing a little louder.
My weapon is a melody.
Sing a little louder.
Heaven comes to fight for me.
Sing a little louder. I'm gonna sing in the middle of a storm. Louder